Alright YouTube, and welcome to another Borderlands 3 news and information video. The Moze character trailer just dropped over on Twitter, YouTube and the Borderlands website under the VIP activities tab, and by watching the trailer over there and reading the accompanying article you can get yourself 350 VIP points. Same goes for the Zane trailer that dropped a few days ago. You can earn yourselves 350 points from that as well. There's also a new VIP vault code worth 250 points that dropped today, which is power to players, and I'll have that on the screen right now and down in the description so you can check it out and type it in. It's well worth your time and I recommend you go do those things and grab yourself some free points, why not? Also in this trailer, much like with the Zane trailer, the Moze trailer features a hidden shift code which you can find among the roses at the end of the video. I'll have the code on screen right now and also written down below in the description so you guys can just go ahead and copy and paste it. What this one will get you is this particular head and skin for Gaige in Borderlands 2 along with 5 golden keys, so it's definitely worth typing it in. You can check out my previous video on the Zane trailer for the code for a Krieg head and skin again, which you can find in the video description. So if any of you guys watching have seen my previous videos and my Comic-Con video where I actually got to play Borderlands 3, then you may know that I'm really not that interested in Moze. In fact, she's my least favourite of the 4 Vault Hunters and will probably be the one that I play the least. But I'm going to read over this article which covers her skills and have it on the screen as I do so, and I'll basically be reacting to it in real time, seeing if it changes my mind about her, because I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about her in comparison to the other Vault Hunters. So as for the new trailer, it did a little bit of building on her character and her personality. I'd argue not as much as the Zane trailer because I absolutely loved that one and I got a lot from it, and I just thought that it was executed so well, and Zane just seems so funny and interesting, whereas Moze, I don't know, I'm just not finding her anywhere near as interesting at all. I know that some of you guys may feel differently. I have a lot of friends over on Twitter who want to main her, but yeah, it's good that we have some diversity amongst the fans in terms of who we all want to play as. In my opinion, it just means that Gearbox have done a good job in creating these characters. So in the trailer she talks about how she was basically sent on a suicide mission by her squad leader and the rest of her squad got wiped out apart from her and her Iron Bear mech. I will say this, one thing that I really did love about this trailer is the fact that her Iron Bear mech actually seems somewhat sentient, and what I mean by this is that it isn't just a vehicle, it's more than that. In the trailer it can be seen operating without Moze being inside of it, as it uses a flamethrower to cook her some food, and then it even acts as a sentry turret watching her back while she lays down to get some sleep. This is an angle that I hadn't previously considered before, and in my eyes this was the biggest reveal that this trailer actually gave me. In fact, I'm curious to see whether this is somehow incorporated into her skills, making it somewhat similar to Deathtrap in a way, or whether it will just stay as a vehicle type mech for the player to control. So I'm going to quickly jump into the article which released alongside the trailer. Much like the Zane one, I'm going to assume that this will cover some of Moze's action skills and skill trees, so if anything is going to change my mind about her, it'll be the information I'm about to read right here, so let's jump into it. So it's called Ways to Play Moze the Gunner, and we get the little introductory paragraph. It talks about her builds and skill trees, which are Shield of Retribution, Demolition Woman and Bottomless Mags, and I can honestly say that just off of these names alone, Bottomless Mags is sounding like my kind of thing, although I think at Comic-Con I chose Demolition Woman and went for the double grenade launchers. So it says, here's a breakdown of what Moze and Iron Bear are capable of when these inseparable BFFs spend their precious skill points. I'll try and go over this as fast as possible without sounding like an idiot, because these character profiles are honestly so detailed and give you a hell of a lot of information. Okay, so Shield of Retribution, we get action skill Railgun and action skill 2 Bare Fist, which is cool that we get melee options as well as range for the Iron Bear mech. So the Railgun is a great action skill weapon for sharpshooters, as Iron Bear fires off electrified high velocity projectiles that can easily vaporize your target if your aim is true. From this description I'm getting vibes of the Railgun from Quake 3 Arena. If you guys have ever played that, it's a really old game from the good old days of online multiplayer in my opinion, unlike today's Fortnite and Battle Royales, but that's another topic. So it says here that Shield of Retribution will essentially be your team player skill tree for Moze. It says that you can sacrifice some of your health to give yourself and your teammates incendiary damage whenever they reload. I'm kind of interested to see how exactly that will work and how that can synchronize with other characters' skills. So down here we get the 3 example skills, which are Full Cam of Whoop-Ass, which causes Moze and her allies to immediately begin recharging their shields at an increased rate whenever Moze jumps into Iron Bear. Again, that sounds like a pretty great skill for co-op play that can definitely help support your team in a firefight. Then we have Force Feedback, which adds serious staying power to your shields. Your shields will automatically begin recharging anytime she scores a critical kill. That sounds like a pretty tanky skill, like where as long as you can keep landing criticals, your shield is likely not to go anywhere. And then we have Phalanx Doctrine, I believe that says, which grants multiple stacks of a buff by the same name every time you kill an enemy. Okay, so this one's a kill skill, so it says that for every stack, Moze's maximum shield and gun damage are increased, and the kicker is that there's no stack limit. What? That's insane. I'm telling you now that there's going to be some sort of exploit where you can like farm enemies and get your stacks up. That skill sounds pretty fucking crazy. So here we get a bit of information about the augments for this skill tree. So it says you can get improvements to your railgun, making the shots chain out extra shock damage to nearby enemies. I kind of dig that because that sounds like the Wonder Waffle from Call of Duty Zombies. And then it also says that the bare fist can essentially launch forward and pull enemies towards you, which also sounds pretty cool. Okay, so now on to Demolition Woman, which includes the V35 grenade launcher and the Vanquisher rocket pod. It looks like we get a quote here from Dickwan Seas, a QA tester for the game. I really like these little quotes that we get here. They included one in the Zane one and that was pretty cool too. Okay, so it says, with the knowledge of Moze's arsenal, I would recommend exploring the Demolition Woman skill tree. Iron Bear is a crucial part of the gunner's gameplay, and at an early level players can successfully rely on the splash damage of its grenade launcher. The skill tree offers multiple ways to customize your playstyle, equip the passive ability Stainless Steel Bear offering traditional armor and fuel to stay in Iron Bear for longer, or utilize Torque cross promotion to increase splash damage. Don't forget to equip Moze's action skill in both slots to access the Iron Bear ability. It's too good. So it looks like Demolition Woman is going to be an explosive based skill tree that looks like it will focus heavily on splash damage and grenade and rocket damage, for example, which is something I'm down for. If anything, that's almost the kind of thing that I'd be expecting from Moze and the mech. So it says here that you'll find helpful passive skills that do things like give Moze's grenades a chance to score a critical hit or increase her grenade carrying capacity, and then we get the rundown on a few skills. So here we have Torque cross promotion, which gives all splash damage that Moze deals a chance to double in size. It's a known fact that explosions are better when they're bigger. That is very true. So Moze is going to really benefit from Torque weapons in Borderlands 3 if you use this skill tree, in particular this skill it seems. Next we have Auto Bear, which lets Iron Bear fight on your behalf. So they did implement this into a skill tree. I actually really like that. I like that so much more than controlling the mech myself. Like, I think that's a great addition to Moze's character. That's something I'll be taking advantage of if and when I do get to play Moze, because it's kind of similar to Deathtrap in that regard. So it says once Moze jumps out, it will remain deployed in place for a short time, and while it's active, Iron Bear will attack nearby enemies, then charge at an enemy and self-destruct. Holy shit, okay. I wasn't expecting to do a suicide bomb, but I guess it makes sense for the Demolition Woman skill tree. I wonder if the explosive damage from that is buffed from other skills in this tree. So lastly we have Short Fuse, which lets your guns join the explosion party. Whenever Moze deals gun damage, there is a chance to trigger a secondary explosion centered on your target. Pair this ability with a high rate of fire weapon to create some serious fireworks. That is very true. That sounds really cool actually. Imagine you have an SMG or something with a really high rate of fire. You're dealing not only the damage from the SMG ammo, but also additional explosive damage for the bullets that trigger an explosion. That's actually not a bad skill at all. And at the bottom we get a little bit of information about the Vanquisher rocket pod. So it says you can augment it so that your rockets lock on. So if you ask me, that's not enough information at all for the rockets, not when we've got so much about the grenade launcher up there. Okay, so finally we got the bottomless mags, and from the name alone this one sounds way more interesting and right up my street, so let's have a read and find out. So we have the two action skills, which are the minigun and the salamander, which is basically a flamethrower, which we can also see being used in the trailer. Again, it's another interesting one that offers some diversity, just like the bare fist from the first skill tree. So it says you'll find a good number of passive skills, such as increases to Moze's magazine size and more incendiary damage for both Moze and Iron Bear, but there are also some nifty skills that you can plan your entire build around, focusing on the boost provided by skills like Match Set, which gives Moze's equipped weapon a bonus to magazine and decreased heat per shot for every piece of equipped gear with a matching manufacturer. That's an interesting one that I can see players taking advantage of during Allegiance run challenges if streamers and whatnot decide to make that a thing in Borderlands 3. Then we've got Specialist Bear, which encourages you to equip two of the same action skill weapon on the Iron Bear. That's something I could have definitely benefited from when I accidentally equipped the double grenade launchers. It says it increases the damage by a flat amount, so that's pretty cool. And lastly we have Forge, every gunner's dream. Moze constantly regenerates ammo. Yes. I love skills like that. So when paired with the unlimited magazine of a Children of the Vault gun and a bit of prudent shooting, Moze can theoretically fire off rounds until the end of time. That one's definitely a skill I'm a fan of, I think. So last but not least, we get some little details on the augments for this particular skill tree. So it says here that there's one that lets you deal increased damage as your gun heats up. That sounds really handy for weapons with large magazine sizes where you're just holding down the trigger and spraying. And then it says you can upgrade the Salamander flamethrower so that it douses enemies in acid instead of flames. And I think that one has sold me on Moze. That's something I absolutely have to try out. I want to use an acid flamethrower, that sounds cool as hell. That's pretty much it for Moze. We get this snazzy little picture at the bottom here. It looks like perhaps when we get the Amara and the flat pictures, maybe these will make some sort of a mural, which I'm excited to see. But yeah, Moze is a little bit more interesting to me now. She's still got the number 4 spot though, unfortunately, but there's a few skills and abilities right here that sound pretty interesting to use, and I'm excited to see Amara and Flax trailers and see how they match up at the end. So yeah, that's going to be it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I tried not to go on for too long, but I do think that this recording might be quite long, so I apologise if the video is. I also think I did a better job covering this one today. The other day when the Zane trailer dropped, I wasn't having the best of days, so my coverage for that trailer was a little crappy. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, leave me a comment down below, and let me know what you think of Moze. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new or haven't already and you love Borderlands just like I do. And don't forget to type today's shift code and the code from the Zane trailer in your Borderlands 2 game and get your hands on those super cool Krieg and Gaige skins. Also type in the new VIP Vault code, power to the players, which I'll have on screen and down below in the description. Thanks again for watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.